Hey, what's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. And this interview today is another banger. It is my boy Amani Channel, and I'm not going to hold up too much. But before we get to the interview, let me just first say a few words to those who continue to support the channel. I just want to show my gratitude and appreciation for all of you who continue to support. Thank you. I appreciate it. I had no expectations when I started doing this a few months ago, and now the feedback I get continues to confirm that the decision I made was the right decision, because it's not really about me, it's about all of us, and it's about helping each other. And so many have lost a lot of years of their life to this cult, and so myself included. And so it's encouraging and it's motivating to know that people are being affected by the content that I put out. And I just want to say thank you for the support. Before I started doing YouTube, I was on YouTube like a lot of you who left this cult and really had nobody to talk to. But you could find so many people who could relate to your story, or you can relate to their experiences and their words, and it really means a lot. So I just really want to take a moment to give thanks again to all of you who continue to support, and you know what, to the haters too, to those current witnesses who make sarcastic comments and kind of hate on things. I appreciate you. Thank you for watching. You know, thanks for being here. But anyway, look, let's get to the interview. This guy here, I'm not going to hold up too much, but great guy. He was raised in the organization of Jehovah's Witnesses, and he left also. He was awakened, and he figured some things out. So without further ado, let's just get to the interview. Oh, and before I forget, don't forget to, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe, like, and if you would like to, please leave your thoughts in the comments below about our discussion, some of the topics that you liked, some you may even disagree with. Let us know in the comments what you think about that. All right. Okay. Now let's get to it. All right. Welcome back to the channel, guys. I have with me a special guest this afternoon. His name is Amani Channel, and I just met him recently, but good energy, got good energy, and like-minded guy. And I'm not going to hold up. Amani, welcome to the channel.
Oh, thanks so much, Tim. Good to see you.
Appreciate you being here. Good to see you too, man. Now, we'll put a link in there to his channel, but he interviewed me recently, and so I wanted to share his story too, because I believe the more of us share our stories, the more of us become, more people will become more aware of what's going on inside the Jehovah's Witness, and so that's what we're going to talk about today. Amani, what's your background when it comes to Jehovah's Witnesses? Like, how did you join, and what was your level of involvement with the organization?
I mean, I was fully indoctrinated. I got baptized when I was 12 years old. I do
12 years old.
remember, yeah, I do remember my parents were like Buddhists. Then my mom was Pentecostal, and then the Jehovah's
Okay.
Witness knocked on her door when I was like around 7 or 8. Maybe it's around 7 years old.
Okay.
And the witnesses knocked on my mom's door, and she opened the door to talk to him because one of the sisters was elderly, and she felt some sort of compassion for the pair that were coming out in service. She invited him in, sat down with them. One thing led to another, turned into a Bible study,
Yeah.
and that's what started the madness.
Okay. So you said baptized at 12. So
Mhm.
at what age were you when the study started? How old were you then?
Probably around 7 years old when the study started.
Oh,
You know,
so
it
you
was
was,
set.
yeah.
Hmm.
Did you
And
guys before that, did you do like holidays and birthdays, things like that?
I remember celebrating Christmas, and we did birthdays, but they weren't really of course, we were like, my parents didn't have a lot of money. So I remember modest Christmases, but I do remember celebrating the holidays. I don't remember feeling like left out when we were Jehovah's Witnesses. Like, I never really felt left out from holidays, from birthdays. We pretty much were indoctrinated right off the bat. Like, I remember listening to my mom's Bible studies, and then we had a family tragedy shortly after she started studying. I had a third brother who ended up drowning at my grandfather's house. And when that
Oh.
happened, it was like a whole story behind it. But when my brother drowned, my
Mm.
mom went hysterical. And I went to her, I was like, Mommy, it's okay. We're gonna see Robin again in paradise, aren't we? And that kind of
Mm.
reassured her that I was that she was on the right path, because I was reiterating what I had ear hustled during our Bible study. So she started going to all the meetings, started going on field service. My brother and I were very highly indoctrinated. My dad wasn't a witness at first. He joined later on, But yeah, we were into it, man. I got baptized when I was 12. I pioneered or auxiliary pioneered after we graduated from high school. So we were definitely witnesses. We were full blown. We were like the exemplary family once my dad got baptized in the congregation, as a matter of fact.
Okay, man. I'm sorry to hear about your brother, man. I'm sure that was tragic, and I'm sure
Yeah.
that was hard, especially for a parent. That had to be rough.
Yeah,
Um,
very difficult for my mom, but it is
yeah.
what it is.
Do you think witnesses use tragedy sometimes to help people join the religion?
I'm not sure. As far as my mom goes, like what I said to her kind of reassured her that it was the truth.
Yeah.
But possibly because they pin everything on the resurrection, the heavenly hope, the resurrection. So we'll see them again. You'll see them again in paradise. That was kind of how that whole tragedy was framed. So I'd imagine that some witnesses, when they're being witnessed to, the resurrection is a hope that they hope to see their loved ones again. So I can imagine that it is.
Yeah, I feel like they do use that.
Hmm.
I remember articles sometime would say, return visits when you call back on people. They say, don't give up on them because you never know. Something in their life could change and something
Yeah.
could happen, and then that could be a way for them to, you know, get into
A,
the
a
organization.
little edgy, and yep.
Yeah, yeah. What was life like for you, like on a day-to-day basis, being a Jehovah's Witness? What was it like for you in the organization, like on like daily life?
So on Sundays we had, Watchtower, public talk.
Hmm.
Monday, I want to say we had our family Bible study. Tuesday, we had theocratic ministry school. Wednesday was kind of like our day off. Thursday was Bible study, book study. Saturday field service. So it was like all indoctrination all the time, basically. During my teenage years, I remember that, my brother and I, we sort of grew our teas out. The brothers give us hell for that. My father was kind of lenient. So my father wasn't really he was a ministerial servant, but he wasn't really an authoritarian. So
Okay.
we used to go to like parties and we would drink and we have
Okay,
we have
okay,
we have fun growing up, but we had a lot of youth in our kingdom, both males and females. Really didn't get in trouble. I ended up smoking weed when I was like 18 or 19, which I got publicly approved for, but I didn't really get in trouble with girls.
okay,
Well, we definitely partied. We had our fun times, definitely. We my dad was we had the open door policy. So whenever other youth had like issues with their household, they come over and spend the night at our house. I
okay.
remember I had one friend who got into a fight with his dad, like a physical altercation.
Oh wow.
He ended up staying with us for like a week. And
Oh
yeah,
wow.
there were a couple of youth who ended up staying with us as we were growing up. But when I got
Okay.
into high school, my dad was kind of like thinking about our future, and he was like, "Well, I know the witnesses don't really encourage college, but he's like, these boys have to support themselves in the world, even if what if the end doesn't come?" Is kind of his thinking. So he didn't discourage college, but he didn't discourage us from going. So I ended up going to college after I graduated. I took a gap year in Pioneer, auxiliary pioneered after I graduated. And then I
Okay.
went to community college. I went to a JUCO for a couple of years. Then I transferred to the University of Florida, where I got my undergrad degree in broadcast journalism.
Okay. Okay. So that's what you do professionally as you're a TV broadcaster.
Yeah, I recently went on disability, but I worked as a news
Okay.
reporter for about 10 years. And I worked as a producer for a few years. So I definitely
Okay.
worked in the broadcasting industry with my profession when I was working.
Did you like it? You enjoy that?
Oh yeah, I love it. Yeah. I love
Yeah.
the technical aspect. I love the creativity. I love talking on camera, everything pretty much.
Okay. Nice. Nice. That's what's up, man. Um, So it's good to hear that too, that your dad wasn't like my dad was the opposite. He was authoritarian, he had rules to follow. And it's good to hear that, not all parents were the same and that your dad was, he's kind of lean. You said who was you grew a beard out, or your brother had grew a beard and the
Both
brother
both of
trying to
us
get on him?
both of us probably had a little dirt on our chins when we like turned 18, 16, when they start
You
going
start getting that
ham.
little hair on the chin? Yeah.
Exactly. No, I
Yeah.
didn't like to shave when I was like, 16, 17, but the brothers would give me hell like, Brother Channel, it's worldly, we have a dress code.
Right.
The organization doesn't approve of beards. But my dad, he wouldn't make us shave either because he was like, look, if the boys want to shave, talk to them and they can make the decision. He understood that it wasn't really a spiritual or it wasn't a Bible-based principle, basically, the rule. And
Right.
so my dad, he would make us shave. I mean, we ended up shaving eventually, but he wasn't really an authoritarian like a dictator type of father. Though he did cuss me out one time when I got caught talking to a girl the first time when I was in high school. But other than that, he was pretty cool.
That's what's up. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. Now, both your parents are in the religion, you are too. Was there any, well, let me ask you this before that, was there ever any doctrines or any teachings that kind of like you questioned a little bit, but just didn't like say too much, you kind of, let the thought kind of just pass, or did you were all in like this is the truth?
No, I believe that it was the truth. I mean, that's pretty much what I grew up to believe. I thought it was the truth. The only doctrine that I really questioned was the beard rule when I was growing up.
Yeah.
Everything seemed to make sense, and the Bible was God's word. All scriptures inspired for God, beneficial for teaching, for proving, for setting things straight. Bad
No, that's
association spoils useful habits. All the scriptures kind of drilled in your head.
no, literally. Those scriptures, I'll never forget them. I'm sure you won't either. Like
I
it's certain scriptures
won't.
like that you just will not forget because it was repeated so much. It's
Mhm.
repeated so much that you could never forget it. Um,
Exactly.
Now, how did you guys view like you say you guys are real kind of, your dad was kind of lenient, you had parties and stuff. You guys how did you guys view like worldly kids your age or worldly people in general, outsiders? How did you view them?
We didn't really associate with worldly kids from high school or anything like it was all Joe's Witness.
Okay.
We had a lot of youth in our Kingdom Hall, so we had our own little clique called the Foundation.
Yeah.
That's what we called ourselves back then.
What y'all call it?
The Foundation.
The foundation. There's a lot of clicks in there, ain't it? Yeah, form little
Yeah.
clicks and stuff. The
There's like five or
foundation,
six of us, five or six of us, like teenagers, and they were like I said, there were
right?
sisters and brothers who were like young people in the hall. So we would go to college parties when I got a little older, and we would hang out. We'd do our thing. We get drunk on Fridays, and we get up and go out and fill source on Saturdays.
Yep, yep.
Yep,
That's you know what? That's not uncommon. I hear that quite a bit now that I'm in this XJW community. That a lot of people, it was a lot of double lives going on, kind of. You know what I mean? Like
it was just
I
people
was even
having
one of
fun.
them.
I mean, we kind of looked at it as having fun. We knew we were being rebel. We listened to hip hop. We listened
Yeah,
end up we listened to all the songs, all the artists back in the day,
yeah.
and we like to hang out. We just have fun.
You were just being you guys were just being normal. That's what I call it. Being normal,
Exactly. Trying to be as
normal
normal as we
young
could,
adults.
considering, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, was there any specific moment or event or anything like happened that made you um doubt or made you like think like this is not the truth?
So after I graduated from college, I got a job in Washington, D.C., the TV station. And both of my roommates when I lived in DC, they went to Howard University. They were college students still. I was just fresh out of college, so I was basically the same age. They're
Okay.
really good brothers though. And so the thought was going through my mind, would God not approve of these brothers or not, would he destroy these brothers because they're not Joe's witnesses? And I
Right.
couldn't, and I just would tell myself, no, I mean, he wouldn't. My roommates were such good brothers. I was like, there's no way they're going to be destroyed. That was the first time I ever questioned it. And then I ended up going to a mega church for a news story, and they were singing
Okay.
praises to Jehovah. They were like praising Jehovah during one of their hymn songs when they were singing their hymns. And that got me scratching my head, like, I thought only Jehovah's Witnesses like use Jehovah's name. So that got me, I was kind of confused, but that was kind of like the first cracks in the pavement, I would say.
Okay. Yeah, that's something, man. I can relate to that because I was a teenager, an older teenager, probably like 18 or 19. And I remember it was for a girl. I like she went to church and so I went to go visit her at her church. And hearing somebody in church say Jehovah was like, what? Like they know about that too?
Exactly.
You think Joe's Witnesses are the only ones who know this is the divine name. Um,
Well, they make it seem like his name makes our service to him above all the other religions. Like the fact that we use Jehovah's name makes us more special is what we kind of think. So that definitely like kind of hit me from the left. Like it was kind of like, whoa, they say Jehovah too? Like other people know about this?
yeah, they say it quite a bit. And at the same time, they call themselves Christian. So it's kind of like a conflict there when you think about Christians. Christians look more towards they look at
Christ.
their Christ. Jesus is their leader. That's the one they go to. Jehovah's Witnesses, they do go to Christ, but is it definitely Jehovah outweighs everything.
Definitely.
The God of the Hebrew scriptures outweighs the God of the Greek scriptures or the New Testament. So it's kind of like a comedy. It's like they're trying to play both sides a little bit. You know what I mean? That's what it feels like sometimes.
You know, I've been thinking about this too, because Yahweh is a very violent, like kind of bipolar God, right? I was like, well, maybe Yahweh was not the Almighty God. Maybe he was like another being that was worshipped that sort of, I don't know, hijacked our thoughts to who knows, man. It's kind of crazy. But when you read like how can God condone violence? Like God says do not kill, but then Yahweh is a very violent God saying to destroy children, even. So it's kind of like a contradiction, I feel like.
Big time. I agree with you. The more I've opened my mind up and done more research after leaving, I'm not dogmatic about anything, but that's definitely a good point you brought out is the God of the Israelites, Jehovah or Yahweh, was definitely violent.
Yep.
It was a lot of killing going on. And even in Jehovah's Witnesses, they use a lot of Old Testament dramas at their conventions.
Yep.
And there's a lot of depictions of swords and fighting. And, they love bringing out how the angel slaughtered 185,000 of in one night or something. It was
Yeah.
like, it's like highlights when Jehovah kills, it's like, yes, he
It's
kills.
like, and even with Armageddon, it's like, I can't wait till Jehovah kills all the people who aren't followers. It's like, why would you celebrate that? Like, you want
Yeah.
everybody to leave, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's definitely that is interesting. So did your doubts were they like gradual? Or
Yeah,
was it
very
like
gradual.
it
Yeah,
was
so
gradual?
once I had those couple experiences in Washington, D.C., I ended up getting a job in Tampa, Florida.
Okay,
And then I got interested in the auras probably around 2003. I got married in 2001.
okay,
My mom also passed in 2001. My mom actually disassociated herself. I just found the letter. I just recorded a video about it. But she
okay.
disassociated herself in like 1999 for various
Really?
reasons. Yeah, and I found the letter actually. She wrote a letter to me and my brother, and then she wrote a letter to the elders. Um, she just basically felt like there was a lack of love for both her family and for herself. And so she was like, I just want to move on. Like I don't, I haven't sinned, I haven't done anything. I just am ready to move on.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but I still consider myself a Jehovah's Witness. Like even when I was in Gainesville at Florida, I was still got in service. There was like a
Okay,
small group of students where we go to the assemblies, we go to the Kingdom Hall on Sundays.
okay,
I lost my privileges right before I left for Florida for smoking weed, like I said. And so I was trying to get my privileges back, which I did before I graduated from University of Florida. I got my
okay.
privileges back, but then I moved to DC and then I moved to Tampa, and then I didn't know any witnesses, so I was kind of like done with it. So in 2003, I got a 2006, I want to say, let's say 2000,
Okay.
yeah, 2003, I got interested in the auras. For some reason, my brother was talking about me, my aunt was. I just got really curious about auras and chakras. So I got a
Yeah.
book. I found a book, and the book had some biblical references. Like the book had some, it was kind of written kind of in the same language that the same kind of language that the Bible verses are written in. It kind of was a familiar pattern to me. I was like,
Okay.
so I was reading this book. I was kind of like, what's going on? And then there were some familiar terms. There was like the Great White Brotherhood. There was Order Melchizedek. There was the I am present. So it was kind of like familiar to me because, like, Moses asked God, what's your name? God said, I am that I am.
That's
And
right.
so I was like, so it just kind of like got my wheels spin a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, I started meditating and I found this website. And when I did the meditation, my hands cramped like this. Like my hands, so much energy was going through my hands that I couldn't move them. I
Oh
was
wow.
I was like, something's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And just got introduced to different information. Man, once I was basically being red pilled, started learning about ascended masters, just other scriptural, spiritual topics that were
Yeah.
not necessarily taught in the Bible, but very divine in my mind, at least. So yeah, that's basically how I guess I to me that was my awakening. So um it wasn't as my awakening. I don't feel like it was necessarily from being a Jehovah's Witness because that sort of happened. That was like an event. I mean, that was like a different
Okay.
life. I think of my awakening as more the spiritual knowledge that I've now gained and my spiritual perspectives that I now I'm trying to live my life by.
I love to hear that. I love to hear that. So you basically your mom disassociated, but you didn't disassociate or get his fellowship or anything. You like faded,
Yeah, basically faded.
faded. Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Now, what's your thoughts on turning in letters or just leaving it alone?
I feel like it's not necessary, man.
Yeah.
What's the letter gonna do, bro? It's like the governing body, they're just men at the end of the day, and they have no authority over anybody, not over me at least. They don't pay my bills. They haven't supported my family. They don't take care of my son. They don't take care of my wife. They don't turn on lights, pay the light bills. So I don't feel like it's necessary.
Okay.
Now
Now, after,
my congregation actually got dissolved though. So my original home congregation in California, because I'm from California, it got
okay.
dissolved. So I wouldn't even like have a, I don't know what O's I'd write to, because I guess my published record card got lost at Gainesville, Florida, when I was at the University of Florida. So
Okay.
I have no idea who I'd even write a letter to it, basically.
I wonder how many publisher cards are out there of people who no longer go for
I
like
bet you there's
years,
a lot.
and it gets included in the total number of witnesses for their numbers. You know what I mean? Like, I
I
wonder.
wonder, I'm definitely not active though. I haven't been active for
Okay, yeah.
years. So yeah,
Okay.
I hope they're
Yeah, I
not
just
counting me
wonder.
still. Yep.
Yeah, so you from California?
Yeah, I'm from California. I'm from the Bay
Oh,
Area.
okay.
Yep.
Okay, the Bay Area. Okay.
Yep.
It's a place I always wanted to go visit. Yeah, Bay
Yeah.
Area.
Yep.
Um, so like now family wise, did you have any other like family that was in the religion, like cousins, aunties, uncles?
No, I have an aunt who lived in Milpitas, which is kind of close to us. My grandmother was alive back then. She wasn't a witness. No, my mom was the only, my mom, my dad, and my brother, sister, we were the only ones who were in the organization. So we were we didn't have a really close relationship with our family, but we definitely knew them, but we didn't have a close relationship because you know how it
Okay.
is, man. If they're not witnesses, you're really not fooling with them.
Yeah.
But I've
Yeah,
been
look.
able to establish a relationship with my aunt though,
Okay.
post JW. So I talk to my family now pretty frequently.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I remember that growing up, like family that wasn't witnesses. A lot of my family were witnesses on my dad and mom's side. So, but the ones who weren't, you really don't know much about them because
Mm-mm.
you saw them at reunions and funerals and weddings, and that's about it.
Yep.
And that was about it. So you don't have to deal with like family pressure and things like that. Now your wife, she never was a witness, right?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No, my wife was
Okay.
not a witness. I met her when I was in DC.
Okay.
She went to, like, my last memorial was probably in 1998 was the last time I went to a memorial.
Okay.
So my wife went with me, and a sister asked her, "Well, are you a witness?" My wife was like, "No, I'm not." And she was like, "Well, it's never gonna work then." And, and my wife was kind of like nervous about it. She's like, "Yeah, I met this sister who said we're not gonna work because I'm not a Jehovah's Witness." I like, don't pay her any attention.
Wow. Wow. That's
And we're still
that was
married all these years
bold.
later.
Yeah. I bet she was an older sister too, probably.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of. Yeah. Now,
Mhm.
as far as thoughts, habits, patterns, any of those things, are they still with you? Do you still recognize sometimes they stay with you a little bit? Or you think,
Sometimes when I'm stressed out, I want to pray to Jehovah.
yeah.
But other than that, like I pray to the Father, Mother, God, Creator, God of all that is, Father, Mother, Creator, God of all that is generally who I pray to.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I don't look at people as worldly. Like, no, I really don't view myself as a Jehovah's Witness. I don't really view myself as not necessarily a Christian.
Right.
I'm just more of a spiritual person who's trying to live his life right, basically.
That's what's up. You kind of
Yep.
answered my next question too about your current beliefs, like where you lead, like where are you at now? That
Yeah,
kind of answers it a little
now
bit.
I'm definitely more spiritual. I believe that
Spiritually, yeah.
we're all one. I believe maybe the law of one, more is, I believe that religion has been manipulated and has really been bastardized in a lot of ways. Like that's what I feel in my heart, at least. I'm definitely anti-religious. I'm an anti-organized religion.
Yeah.
I go to church every now and then, but don't I'm not really active in any sort of church. I do see the
Okay.
value in the fellowship, in the
Yeah.
spirituality, and I generally feel like, so I don't feel like being raised children is like was negative. It's a negative experience for me. I had a lot of
Okay.
fun growing up. I do see how people can be bitter at all the years wasted, but I don't really feel like we had a close knit family for the most part. Family events, we were a close knit family. I feel like there are also benefits to being a witness, but that are sometimes missed. But it is what it's to each their own. Each person has their own experience. Each person
Yeah.
processes the experience differently. So yeah, that's kind of my experience though.
Okay. That's interesting too. I like that. And I think a lot of, and I like to hear that too, because not everybody had a bad experience growing up as a Jehovah's Witness. Some have had horrible experiences, and I can see why they would be bitter or upset at the, leadership,
Yep,
or even some in the congregation, how they were treated maybe after being disfellowshipped
yep,
and then reinstated or not reinstated, but just how they were just treated in general, even by family. I can see how some people would be like very, and upset or very bitter at the organization, especially when justice is not handled. We hear a lot about children being harmed under,
yep.
harm done to children. And to me, that is abhorrent. Is the worst crime in my mind there that one can do. And when you hear about so many cases of it, and like actually public knowledge of court cases, and the millions of dollars being paid out, I can see why a lot of people have started to speak out.
Oh, I definitely understand. I offer my prayers and thoughts out to anyone who's been victimized in any kind of way by the
Right.
organization, whether they were disfellowshipped unjustly. I will say that my mom, after she dissociated herself, because she was kind of ill, and my dad was her caregiver, so he kind of
Okay.
stopped going to meetings for a couple of years. He was still a witness though, but then after my mom passed, my mom requested that she have like more of an interfaith kind of memorial service. So of course,
Okay.
since she was associated, it wasn't at the Kingdom Hall. So my dad, there were other speakers there. There were, people who were probably not Jehovah's Witnesses. And so the brothers met with my dad. They had a judicial hearing. And they're like, Brother Channel,
A judicial hearing?
yeah, for my dad, for having an interfaith funeral for my mom. Yep.
But that was her. That was she wanted though.
That's what she wanted. Exactly.
Oh wow. What did they do with him? What
They
happened?
just fellowshipped him.
Oh my goodness. Oh wow.
Yep.
Oh, because he respected his wife's wishes.
Exactly. Yep.
Oh wow. Now is your dad still around? Is he still alive?
Oh yeah, he is. Yep.
Okay. Did he ever go back or he
No,
just
no,
not at
he's
least?
like, they kicked me out. He's like, he kicked me out. So he's good. He was like,
Okay.
they gave him his freedom papers. He said he pumped his fist in the air when he drove off from that meeting that night.
Gave him his freedom papers. I like that.
Yep,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
gave him his freedom
yeah.
papers that night. Yep.
Wow. I've never heard one like that before. That you
Yeah.
gave your wife her wishes for her funeral at interfaith, and then you get this fellowship for that? Wow.
Yeah.
That one, that's a new one. That's a new. I always hear new stories, but that one definitely new. So
Yeah,
you and your dad pretty close?
yeah, pretty close. Yeah, we talk pretty frequently. He's yeah, my dad's a good man, man. I really respect my father. I'm glad he's still around. He's a musician now. He
Okay.
plays music, he teaches music lessons. He's pretty active for his age, definitely.
Nice. Nice. That's
Yep.
great to hear, man. That is awesome. So let's say this. Let's say you're sitting in front of the governing body of Jehovah's Witnesses. Um, what would be something you would want to tell them?
I always just want to ask what's their authority? That's really what I want to know because there's no mention in any scriptures about any governing body. So what's their authority? And I just really want to know the answer to that question. What is your authority? How do you appoint yourself? How have you appointed yourself the rulers of the Jehovah's Witness is what I want to know. That's the question I have for them. Who appointed you and what's your scriptural basis for your organization, basically?
Yeah, that's a good question because it's something. They make the claim that they the only ones, right, who are connected to the creator of the whole universe.
Yeah.
But yet we're not inspired. That's kind of funny to me.
Yeah.
Um, what about current? Say that there are current a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses right now who are still in the religion, but yet they're on YouTube channels like ours, and they're basically physically in, mentally out, what we call PMOs generally. And what would you want to say to them? Like they know it's not the truth, but they're scared to leave because of maybe relationships and family and things like that. What would you want to say to them?
Well, for me, it's like it's different for each person. So my circumstance was I was removed from my whole social environment in California because I wasn't with my family, with my friends who were Jehovah's Witnesses. So
Right.
I can't imagine the pressures. It must be tremendous, like knowing that your whole social circle is in Joe's organization, but yet you don't believe in it anymore. So I can imagine why there would be a lot of fears. What I will say is that there is a whole life outside of the Kingdom Hall. And once you sort of open your eyes to the fact that worldly people or non-Jehovah's Witnesses are not bad people, that um yeah, you can call Christmas a pagan holiday, but at the end of the day, it's all about family. It's all about spending time with people you love. It's all about giving, which, the Bible says you got to give to receive. So, once you get kind of beyond the dogma, a life gets a little simpler. And
Mm,
it's not all bad out there, is what I would explain to them.
yeah. Now,
Mm.
what about to those who have left? They built up the courage, they've left, and they don't speak out or anything like that, but they're kind of they feel somewhat alone because maybe their whole social circle was Jehovah's Witnesses, and so now no one really associates them. Whether they were disfellowship, whether they
Mhm.
faded, whether they disassociated, they're having a hard time right now adjusting to life outside of it. Any suggestions or anything you would want to say to people like that?
Yeah, I thought about this whole sort of situation because there's so much indoctrination, there's so much brainwashing that's involved being a witness. I think it's just a matter of time. Some time has to pass, and then find some hobbies or find some like-minded individuals who are not witnesses who you can socialize with. Maybe that'd be a start for building community, but find maybe some hobbies, some passion projects, some
Mm,
other communities with people of like interests or like-minded, because they can really consume you as well. Like, I've wasted all my life being, I mean, yeah, you spent time has passed, but at the end of the day, you kind of agreed to be a chosen. Nobody twisted your arm. Yes, there was some deception, I feel like, or there was some misinformation, but at the end of the day, we all have to take accountability for ourselves and find what works for us.
I like that because, and to me, that kind of gets to what I like to tell people too is about getting to know who you are and reclaiming your identity. What
Mhm.
what excites you? What makes you feel like you're alive? And like you said, hobbies, things that you might enjoy, m- definitely can be helpful when it comes to like adjusting with life outside. Things that you never maybe couldn't do or didn't want to do before, didn't have the time to. Now you get all the time. Now every Sunday morning, you
Yep.
you don't have to get ready for a meeting. Now you get to, do something that really is something you're passionate about. So I like those suggestions, man. Those are great to hear. So for you, um, like what's next on your list for you? Like personally, professionally, like what is it that what's your mission now or say your purpose now?
I'm trying to find that because I've been on disability for a couple of years. So I'm
Okay.
trying to find my groove, like what I really want to do next.
Okay.
I have some physical challenges in there. So I'm trying to, I meditate every day. I kind of have my routine, but I'm trying to find myself as well. So it's kind of an ongoing process. It's a constant process of learning and expanding and taking action, trying to be a better person, a better husband, a better father, all
Yeah.
that. That's what my priority now is, making sure my 17-year-old doesn't bang his head too hard.
Yeah. Oh, he's 17. Oh, you got okay, nice, nice.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Meditation, I believe, is very important. It's something that once I left and start giving myself permission to look at different beliefs and different, spiritual ideas, things like that, I think meditation is one of the best things that people can do. Just be still, just sit still sometime and just uh,
Listen to your heart, man. Just tap in.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, man. That's it's powerful. It's powerful,
It
especially
really
making a
is.
habit. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I enjoy having you on the channel, Amani. It was great to meet you, man. Great talking to you. Now, if anybody wants to get a hold of you, maybe hear your story, you have a channel. What is that? What is the name of your channel?
Yeah, my channel is Seeds of Awakening, and I
Okay.
feature XJW stories, but also stories from other people. So other people have different religious, spiritual, healers and different mediums and all sorts of stuff. You'll find a whole bunch of information on my channel, but also XJW. More recently, so I've been untapped. Like I have not been tapped in, I have to admit, with the XJW content until
Right.
recently. So recently I was like, well, maybe I should start interviewing. It seems like a very passionate community. So that's when I got interested in featuring folks like yourself and others. So I just now started the JW content, but yeah, there's a whole bunch of content on my channel looking to grow and looking to grow with the community. Hopefully you like my content. If you want to visit, it's Seeds of Awakening.
Seeds of Awakening. I'll be sure to put that in the below and in the description so people can go. I'll put the link in the description so people can go to your channel. I like the name of that too. Seeds of Awakening. I like that. I like,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, because witnesses, I mean, we feel like all of us feel like once we left, we woke up. That's Feel
That's
like you
part.
just
I feel
woke
like that's
up.
part. That might be the beginning of the awakening, but there's a whole, there's a lot of information that's been suppressed that we don't even know about. I feel like so. Even within the Bible, there's books of the Bible that have been left out. There's all sorts of information that's been withheld from humans, and you got to go within to sort of find out what's right for each individual. I really feel like if folks kind of close their Bibles and just went within and meditated and just listen to themselves, we'll all lead ourselves to a better place. Is really what I believe.
I like that. I like that. The indoctrination has been strong for a lot of people,
Oh, very
and they
strong.
only look to one book. They only look to the Bible. And again, I got some apocryphal books. They leave out the Maccabees, the Book of Enoch, and Jubilee.
Yep.
They leave all that stuff out. Like, wait a minute, this is related. But to me, that was planned on purpose. If you could sum up organized religion with a word, what would you call it? What word would you use for religion?
A control mechanism. This is a control vehicle. It's
Yeah.
used to control the thoughts and the minds, the actions of other people. And it's done a good job. I feel like religion is a man's way to understand the spiritual, but within that, there's been a lot of manipulation, a lot of control mechanisms that have been placed within the Bible. They've been removed from the Bible. Even the way we look at Jesus, I feel like Jesus was an example to all of us. Jesus might not be the only son of God. We're all sons of God, right? Jesus said that we'll all do acts greater than he did even. So yeah, that's sort of what I believe.
I agree with you on that. I haven't done a video on my beliefs yet. That's something I do want to do, but I share those sentiments with you that um, the Christ consciousness is with all of us.
Oh yes, sir.
You
Yes, it
know,
is. Yep.
it's with all of us. So, um, man, any parting words, any parting comments for you? Anything you want to let the audience know about, man? This has been a great conversation. I knew
Just
it would be.
there's life outside the kingdom hall. There really is. There's a whole wide world out there. Um, I know you might, if you're an ex-witness, you might feel bitter about the organization, but that's not really positive either. Kind of look towards the future. Even if you spent 30, 40 years in the organization, you have your whole life ahead of you still. Just focus on the positive things, the things you can control. And if you're woken up yesterday or today or tomorrow, it doesn't matter. It's the fact that you've woken up from whatever your situation is. Um, yeah, that's probably what I want to say in conclusion.
That's awesome. I agree with you, and I love that. For those who are listening, some great words, great wise words right there. That their life is beyond the kingdom hall. Is a whole life out here, and it's huge, man. So don't stay stuck. Don't stay
Exactly.
stuck. Well, Monty,
Yep.
thanks for being on the channel, man. I appreciate you. I'm sure we're going to connect again because we're close
We're
in the
neighbors, man.
area.
We're neighbors.
Yeah, we're neighbors, so I'm sure we're gonna connect again. Thanks for being on, man. And hey, man, you take care of yourself and take care of the family, and stay free from cults.
You the same, Tim. Good to talk to you, man. Talk to you
All right,
soon.
man.
All right,
You too.
peace.
So I hope you enjoyed the interview. I definitely enjoyed my discussion with Amani. Got a lot of insight from him, and we are in communication still. We did this interview a little while ago, and great brother, man. Very good-hearted person who's helping a lot of people also through his channel. So don't forget to check out his info in the description. I'll put the links below. And real fast, I want to give a bit of a word out to those who, in different parts of the country, USA, and part of the world, any part of the world, if you are an XJW or you're a PMO and physically and mentally out and you want to get out, you want to build a network before you leave, right? Just so you don't feel like, a lot of us leaving, we're just like on an island, stranded, and we don't have a lot of people locally in our area. I'm lucky to have here in Georgia a nice support group here. It's been able to grow. I didn't know if there was anybody here when I first left, and now I found people here. So in your area, I'm sure there are XJWs who just don't talk to anybody. You guys just don't know each other. If you are in the New York area, the LA area, Arkansas, wherever you are, Texas, Florida, Japan, it doesn't matter. If you are looking for support, send me an email. My email is in the description on my channel. Send me an email. Let me know where you at. A few people I've been trying to coordinate who are alone, who want to build a network, have reached out to me, and I said I would definitely put a word out there. And for any other XJWs who know people in different areas, please reach out and look. Let's get little groups of support together, because all of us are human. All of us need community and support, no matter what. And just because you change your mind, just because you're an apostate or you don't believe in something no more, doesn't mean you should be shunned. Doesn't mean you should be isolated. You deserve love. You deserve happiness and success. So please reach out to me. And you know what? Until next time, y'all, thanks again for being here, and stay free from them cults. Peace.